Namaste. Namaste. I think today there will be a very less number of audience owing to the fact that today is the festival, Sankranti festival. Anyway, we will start. Apadam apahartaram dataram sarvasampadam lokabhiramam shriramam bhuyo bhuyo namamyaham. So far the story has been that Vibhishana, after having a quarrel, having some differences of opinion with his elder brother Ravana, he decided that no more should he stay there advising, counseling his king Ravana, even though he was his brother. As a brother, he was supposed to stay there, but as a minister, as a counselor, as an advisor, when your advice is not heeded, when your advice is not needed, it's not taken, then there is no point. It makes no sense for anybody to stay there. So that was the reason behind Vibhishana. He left Ravana and Lanka, and along with his 4 followers, he came all the way to the other side of the ocean, where Rama and his army of monkeys led by Sugrīva had positioned themselves. Now, there was a debate amongst the ranks in Sugrīva's army at the behest of Rama. They all had only one opinion, that Sugrīva must not, Vibhishana must not be taken into our army, taken into our camp without examining. So examining would take time, and it would generate a kind of mistrust to those people who have sought refuge. So this was the idea, this was the opinion, suggestion given by Hanūmān in that meeting. And afterwards, Rama proclaimed that it is his foremost duty. He upheld his eternal vratam. He took that as a vratam, and that vratam was that abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadamyetat vratam mama. He shall grant abhayam. He shall grant refuge to all those who seek refuge in him. Anybody who comes to him shall be taken care of. That is what Sri Rama said. You see, this is another clear-cut indication that Rama was a divine avatar. He was nothing but that great truth speaking to the masses. Krishna too told the same thing. He too said the same thing, but the tone was different. The scenario was different. Even though both of these lines from both Krishna and Rama came in and around this battlefield, but when Krishna made that statement, he made it in a different way. His was more commanding tone, and Rama's was a kind of statement that only Rama could make to substantiate himself, to substantiate dharma, to substantiate the character of Rama. He had to make that statement. Nobody else, even if it was only the poet, even if it was only Valmiki who had made that statement, that abhayam sarvabhutebhyaha dadati Ramaha. Rama gives refuge to all those who approach him. If Valmiki had made the statement, I don't think it would have touched or it would have had the same strength and same courage and same gusto to this line. It was supposed to be said by Rama. And in such a situation, everything was sorted. Now we had to go ahead with the story. As you can see, the title of the session is The Beginnings of War. How the entire war began. From now onwards, it's only going to be fighting and killing. There is no room for strategies. The strategies are all done. We have seen Vibhishana, a master strategist. I mean, this is also one of the insights, one more insight into current political scenario, that after the elections, if you jump the party, if you change the party, then that shows that you are not good at integrity. It shows that you are not very good at integrity. But if you want to maintain your political integrity, then you should move to other party before the elections and stick with their ideologies. And there should not be any other scenario, any other reason for anybody to move from one party to another, switch over from one party to another, apart from ideologies. It means that ever since his career began, just observe the graph of Vibhishana's political career. He always stood by dharma. It was not like he criticized Rama and then when he saw an opportunity that Ravana is losing, therefore I have to switch over to Rama's party so that I can be crowned as the king of Lanka one day. That's not strategy, that's poor judgment. There is no integrity at all. But Vibhishana was politically very correct. He knew what he was doing. He always was on the side of dharma. Even though, unfortunately, he was the brother of Ravana, he was surrounded by Rakshasas. He never ever let the Rakshasi dharma, the Rakshasi pravritti, the ideology of Rakshasas influence him. He was a lone warrior stuck in the middle, in the middle of all those Rakshasas. And when he understood that he can no more fight, he can no more guide them properly, or they do not want his guidance. It's the other way around, actually. They did not want to heed to Vibhishana's guidance. When they clearly tell you that we don't need your guidance, we don't need your support, we don't need your suggestions, then does it make any does it make any sense to anybody to stay there just because they have to follow dharma? See, every time when there is this question of determining whether what Vibhishana did was dharma or adharma, people forget what is the end result of dharma. What do we mean by following dharma? The end result should be dharma. Dharma means a condition, a state of mind, a natural state, a natural condition is called as dharma. If that is being maintained by our action, then that action also gets, that activity also gets the name, bears the name dharma. If we are doing something, if our activity disturbs that natural condition, then it is adharma. The dharma and adharma are the results. So if I am advising somebody, even if he is my brother, and if they are not receiving, and if they do not want to receive, then I should not stay there even for a minute. The reason is, where there is no dharma, you should not stay even for a small fraction of a second. That's what all the Subhashitakaras, all the great exponents of Arthashastra have always told. Where there is no dharma, a person should not stay there even for a minute. That's why Vibhishana had to make a huge call, and he crossed the ocean, he came to Rama's refuge, he sought Rama's refuge, and he was granted refuge. And afterwards, Rama very calmly asked Vibhishana, Akhyahi mama tattvena rakshasanam balabalam. Tell me more about the strengths of Ravana and his army. So Vibhishana began to narrate what Ravana's army comprises of, what Ravana's strength is, how is Ravana situated, how does Ravana strategize. So all these things Vibhishana started narrating. First and foremost, he said that Ravana himself is a handful warrior. He has got the boon from Pitamaha, that is Brahma, and he is Avadhya. He cannot be killed by Devatas, Danavas, Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kinnaras. So many people, so many creatures cannot even touch Ravana. That is his situation. And then he has an elder brother who happens to, he has a brother, not an elder one. He has a younger brother who happens to be Vibhishana's elder brother as well, named as Kumbhakarna. And Kumbhakarna is Shakra Prativalaha. He is equivalent to Indra in terms of strength. And then he said only that much about Kumbhakarna. Not much was told about Kumbhakarna by Vibhishana at this moment. And then Prahasta was his commander-in-chief. Ravana's commander-in-chief, Prahasta. And he was the one who defeated Manibhadra in Kailasa. That's another history that we will deal in the Uttarakandam. And then he talked about Indrajit. Adrishyo bhavati Indrajit. That's the word he used. That's the line Vibhishana used. The moment he steps into the battlefield, usually what Indrajit used to do is he used to enter into the battlefield with such pace that he would take everybody by surprise. He would make them engage in some impactful battle, and then he would disappear. And the moment he disappears, Antardhanagataha, Tarpayitva Hutashanam, he would perform some yajnam in a place called as Nikumbhila, which the details will be revealed in the battle between Lakshmana and Indrajit. And once he performs that yajnam, he would become invincible. Nobody could defeat him. And Vibhishana knew this secret. And he knew the place where Indrajit used to perform. Imagine what would have happened if Vibhishana was never on the side of Rama. They would never know the secret of Indrajit. And Indrajit was torturing them. Indrajit was murdering them. So Vibhishana plays an important role in the entire war, the great war that happened between Rama and Ravana. Without Vibhishana, I don't think the victory would have been so easy for Rama. It was not easy, but in comparison with how much ever effort was required to achieve this victory, it would have been twice or thrice more than this if Vibhishana was not on their side. Anyway, and then he said that Mahodara and Mahaparshva, they are also his two other commanders-in-chief of his army. And Dashakoti Sahasrani, 10 crores into 1,000. You do the calculation. That's how much soldiers he had in his army, Ravana. Okay. And all of them are Kamarupina. All were trained, well trained in Maya Yuddham. You see the strengths of enemy here. It means that they can take any shape, any form at any given point of time. They are well versed in the night warfare. They can disappear at any given point of time. They will shoot arrows at you, but they cannot be seen. So this is the kind of army that you are facing. Basically, infiltrants. We don't know in what form they are, but they are our enemies. And there is an army of them. Okay. And then he says that this is the strength of Ravana's army, and the entire Lanka is well protected. It has very good forts that protects the entire city. But Rama made a pratigna here. He takes an oath at this moment. Aham hatva Daśagrivam. I shall kill Ravana. All right. And I will make you king. I will kill Ravana and I will make you king of Lanka. Satyam Pratishrunomita. And when Rama uses these kind of lines, it is bound to happen. When he takes an oath, he finishes it. If Rama gives his word, it means that it is full and final. You don't need anything else to be, anything else is not required as a binding document. No KYC document required. If Rama says that I am a resident of Ayodhya, he means he is a resident of Ayodhya. It's not like, he is not like us. I say I'm a resident of Ayodhya and then I will be roaming around somewhere in Bangalore. That's not how it goes with Rama. So if he says something, he is definitely going to do it. So that's exactly what he means there. And he says that I will kill Ravana, even if he goes to Rasatalam, even if he goes to Patalam or Rasatala, or if he runs away to his protector, to the God who gave him all the boons, Pitamaha Sakashamba. Even if he goes to Loka Pitamaha, Brahma, I will not leave him. I will finish him. I will kill him. So when you see a different kind of Rama in this Yuddha Kanda, in the initial stages of Yuddha. And this is the beginning of seeing that kind of a picture of Rama. And he says that Ahatva Ravanam Sankhya, without killing Ravana on the battlefield, I shall not enter Ayodhya. Ayodhya na pravekshyami. And here he says that he took a shapatham. There is a difference between pratigna and shapatham. Shapatham is when we take in the name of someone, that is called as shapatham. in the name of God, in the name of wife, in the name of husband, in the name of father, in the name of etc., etc. That is called as shapatham. Pratigna is self-oriented. This is my pratigna. The first one, Satyam Pratishrunomite, was pratigna, Rama's pratigna. Then he substantiates it with his shapatham. Because people, even to this day, I mean, in the city, it's all gone. But the villagers still believe that if you pramana or shapath, if you do a shapatham, it means that you are bound to get. ನಿಜನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳು. Say this ಆಣೆ, that is shapatham. And it all comes down to, I mean, that the origins of all these things goes down to Ramayana. And on whom did he did this ane or shapatham? Rama. Tribhir bhratribhir shape. I said that. On my three brothers, Bharata, Lakshmana, and Shatrughna. In the name of my three brothers, without kill, I take this word, or I make this statement that without killing Ravana, I shall not return to Ayodhya. What a bold statement to make. He has just got the picture, a very brief structure of Ravana's army, and Rama has given his statement. Not just that, he asks Lakshmana to bring water from the samudram, from the ocean. And what he does is, he does that pattabhishekam then and there to Vibhishana. Abhyashinchad Vibhishanam. See, he made Vibhishana the proxy king of Lanka already. So that has got some meaning. I mean, for any sort of pattabhishekam, you need water from all pious rivers, all authentic rivers. But all rivers lead to ocean, right? And if you bring the water of ocean, it means it has all the water of all rivers. So he took that and he made that. Same thing, if you remember, was done by Rama to Sugrīva as well. He had crowned him king before he killed Vālī. He just gave his word that your enemy shall be destroyed by me. Vālī will be destroyed by me. But before that, he had already crowned Sugrīva as the king. The same thing is happening here, which shows that Rama, once he convinces himself to do something, once he commits himself to a cause, he is definitely going to do it. There is no turning back. There is no looking back. So this is the situation. Okay. And then he called upon Hanūmān and Sugrīva. Look at the humbleness of Rama. You cannot get a better person than Rama for this. He says that, how are we going to cross this ocean? And I hope you don't mind, but I have taken his opinion. He asks, he calls upon both Hanūmān and Sugrīva, and then in the presence of Vibhishana, he puts forth a question. That is, Katham Sagaram Akshobhyam Tarama Varunalayam. The question still remains unanswered. How are we going to cross this ocean? What is the plan? Do we have any plan? Do we have any strategy to overcome this huge ocean? How are we going to cross this ocean? So at this time, nobody still had any clue whatsoever. None of them, including the likes of Hanūmān, Jambavan, Sugrīva, they had no clue how to cross this ocean. See, having the strength to cross the ocean all by yourself is different. But to think of an entire army crossing, it's a different thing. It's not about how good you are. How good can you think for other people? That's what matters as a minister, as a counselor. And none of them had any clue. Vibhishana steps in. Right away, he gets into his job. He gets into that mode where he is an inevitable part of Rama's counsel from there on. That's why even in the devotional poems that we hear about Rama, we have Vibhishana in Rama's parivara. Or when we do this archanam, when Rama is worshipped as a deity, there are some parivara devatas. In his parivara, Vibhishana is an integral part of his parivara, because he plays a major role. In each and every junction, in each and every crossroads, it was Vibhishana who stood there, who guided the entire army in the proper way. So he says that Samudram Raghavo Raja Sharanam Gantum Arhati. You should approach Samudra. Rama, it can be done only by you. You should approach Samudra. Why? Khanitas Sagarenayam Aprameyom Hodadhi. Do not forget that he owes his existence to your forefathers, your ancestors. So his entire existence depends upon the fact that your ancestors, the sons of Sagara, they dug up this entire world, across the world. They dug up in the search of a horse. That's how Sagara came into existence. So you should approach him. I think if you approach him in a humble manner, he will give up the path. It's not you making the path. The path should also, the place should also be willing to give you the path. This clearly shows that people have no clue how yoga margas work, to be honest, or sadhana margas, antaranga sadhana margas. How do they work? It's not for anybody's to claim. Anybody can be anything. That rule doesn't apply, because for someone who has been doing Shivopasanam, for him the doors of Vaishnavopasanam might be shut. He might not be able to enter into that path. And the same happens for a Vaishnavopasaka as well. Why is that? It is because it's not only our efforts that matter in terms of searching for the path or making the path for ourselves. It's also the path should be in synchronization with our intent. Therefore, Vibhishana suggested Rama that if you approach Samudra, if you approach Sagara, Sagara might give the pathway. He may give you the pathway all by himself. That should be the ideal one. Okay, fine. So if this is the case, then let us do this. So everything was said, and he felt that this is the right opinion. This is the right thing to do, Rama. But before he decided, he asks both Hanūmān and Sugrīva that I hope that Vibhishanasya mantroyam mama Lakshmana rojate. He asks Lakshmana as well. Lakshmana, I like this suggestion given by Vibhishana. Therefore, I think I'm going to go with Vibhishana's idea. I hope it is okay with both of you, which means Hanūmān, Lakshmana, Sugrīva. I hope it is okay with all of you. That's what he says. That's humbleness as a leader. You are not saying that I am the leader, I'm taking the decision, whatever I want, I will take that as a decision. No, that's not the attitude. So he clearly shows how to conduct these kind of meetings. And even when you are deciding something, even when you are giving out that judgment, giving out that decision, how are you supposed to articulate your decision? It's an insight into that kind of a thing. All right, moving on. So we have already lost plenty of time. So without wasting much time, let us approach the ocean. Let us approach Samudra. Everything was decided. The entire army moved towards Samudra, and on the banks, to the banks of the ocean, the shores of the sea. They went there. At this time, there was a man who was sent by Ravana. He was one of Ravana's messengers. His name was Shardula. He saw an army of monkeys headed by Rama, Lakshmana, and Sugrīva, and ably guided by Vibhishana. It was approaching the Samudra. It was approaching the ocean. Now, immediately, Shardula went to Ravana and he gave him the report. And in his report, he said that I feel that there are only three things that we can do. Upapradhanam, giving Sita back to Rama, or Sanvam, we have to do some Anusandhanam, we have to do some diplomatic relations, we have to end the war, we have to sue them for peace. We cannot fight them. Or if you have that kind of ability, then you should be able to create mutiny amongst them. That's the only way we are going to defeat them, because it's not an army that is marching towards us. It's an ocean of monkeys that is marching towards us. It was not even an army. There was no count for the number of monkeys there were in Sugriva's army. They were all unorganized. I give you that. They were unorganized, but there was no proper number. As Dashakoti Sahasrani, when we say about Ravana, it was organized. They were skilled. They were trained. And the army of monkeys was not trained. And they were unorganized. But when they walked together, they looked as if the ocean is moving towards another ocean. The ocean is merging with another ocean. We have seen rivers merging with other rivers. We have seen rivers merging into the ocean. But have you ever seen an ocean merging with another ocean? That happened when the army of monkeys walked towards the ocean. That's how Shardula described it to Ravana, because they are his eyes. See, Chara Chakshuhu Raja. He was his Chara. Chara is a spy. These spies are a king's true eyes, because he cannot be everywhere. A king cannot be everywhere. Therefore, he places them at every nook and corner of his kingdom. That's how he gathers information. They were the equivalent of, and much more, what should I say, much more capable than the modern CCTV cameras. Much better than CCTV cameras. They simply gather whatever goes in front of them. And whatever happens in their hindsight, they cannot capture it. And they don't have their own ability to think, analyze, and come up with a report. But the spies, they have all these things. When he gave this report, Ravana dismissed him. He said, you have done your job, get lost. He called upon one of his ministers. His name was Shuka. As the name suggests, he could easily get into the form of a bird at any given point of time. He said he did not like the 3 suggestions given by Shardula. First one, Upapradhanam, giving Sita back, no way. Or suing for peace, having some peace treaty with Rama, no way. I'm not going to do it. But there is only third option that was given by Shardula, that was Bhedam. How about we divide them? And where do you divide? See, Rama is entirely dependent on Sugrīva's army. Sugrīva is truly the master of his army. He is the leader of his army. He is the commander of his army. How about we separate them? How about we break the friendship between Rama and Sugrīva? If I snatch Sugrīva away, if I remove Sugrīva away from Rama, then Rama is alone. He and his brother, they are nowhere crossing this ocean and attacking my army. 2 people against a whole army, that's practically impossible. That's what Ravana thought. Therefore, he sent a message with Shuka to Sugrīva. The message was very simple, very, very simple. It was no need to decrypt it at all. Very simple. He said that you are born in a great family. Your brother and I were good friends. Ahamyadyaharam bharyam. If I kidnapped Rama's wife, tera kya ja raha hai? What has it got to do with you? That's exactly the words that Ravana uses in his message. Aham yadyaharam bharyam rajaputrasya dhimataha kintatra tava Sugrīva. What is there for you? Why are you involved in this fight? It's not your fight. It's not your matter. Leave it. Okay. Kishkindham pratigamyadam. Go back to Kishkindha. You don't have any enmity with me. And do I need to remind you that I and your brother, Vālī, we were best friends? Do you want to raise your army against your brothers, your dead brothers, best friend? This is how Ravana foolishly tried to sway Sugrīva away from Rama. Okay, he is simply a messenger. Shuka came in the form of a bird, and the monkeys caught him. They started torturing him. They knew the moment they set their eyes on this bird, they knew that he looks different. This is not a normal bird. He is a messenger. He is trying to get an idea of this entire army. So what they did is they captured him, and then he begged for his life. He asked for mercy. And he said that I'm only a messenger. You don't have to kill me. So, and Rama said that, okay, fine, let him go. But before that, he needed an answer. You cannot simply go there, give the message and come back empty-handed. I have to get an acknowledgement. So he asked Sugrīva, what should I tell him in return? Ravana is awaiting your response. He says that, Namesi mitram, you are not my friend, point number 1. Na tathanukampya, I don't have any mercy towards you. Okay. And You and Nacha Upakartasi, you have never helped me. Vālī tortured me for so many years. Where were you then? Why did you not help me? Why did you not convince your best friend to let me into my kingdom? You did not do that. And now you want to claim that you were my brother's best friend. You see, this is how people are these days as well. When the situations are very tough for you, nobody approaches you. And when you have gained a gainful position, when you are in a very good position, people do approach you. Like how Ravana approached Sugrīva when he was named the king, when he was the king of Kishkindha, not when he was being chased like a mad dog by Vālī. If he was a true friend, then he would have helped him at that time. That's why he says that Nacha Upakartasi, you have never helped me. Name priyosi, I do not like you for reasons. Okay. And on top of this, Ramasya Arihi, you are Rama's enemy, sworn enemy of Rama, and Rama is my best friend. So, Vālīva vadharha vadhyaha. Therefore, you also deserve to die like Vālī. Therefore, I am not going to help you in whatsoever capacity. Nihanam yaham. Instead, he says that I will kill you. Not Rama. I won't let Rama touch you. I will kill you by myself, with my own hands. I will kill you. And you will see his valor. For the very first time when he looks at Ravana, oh, it's a fantastic scene. We will see that in the later stages, where Sugrīva sees Ravana for the first time, and he does something impulsive that even Rama was shocked. What are you doing? You are the head of an army. You are the commander-in-chief of an army. You don't take such kind of impulsive decision. He jumps upon Ravana, just like that. All of a sudden, Ravana was watching the army. After they crossed the ocean, Rama's army was stationed outside Lanka. They were preparing themselves for the siege. They were preparing themselves, strategizing and setting up for the war. And Ravana came outside just to take a look at Rama's army, the size of Rama's army. Sugrīva sees Ravana for the first time. He asks Vibhishana, who is he? Ravana jumps. All of a sudden, I mean, Vibhishana had not even stopped with a full stop. He was there. He was there, and he hit Ravana on his chest. And Ravana was like, what just happened? He was like a mountain. Ravana was like a mountain. And then they had some rigorous fight between them. And finally, he had to send someone else to rescue Sugrīva. And it was Angada. Rama tells Angada that, don't make it look like you are rescuing Sugrīva. Because, great men don't like to be rescued. Yeah, seriously. I am rescuing you, my king. You will be dead the very next moment if you say this to any king. But I am rescuing you, my king. No. Who are you to rescue me? I am your king. So, Angada very cleverly, brings back Sugrīva. And then Rama gives him a mouthful. He says that, what are you doing? You are supposed to organize. You are not supposed to go there and fight. Okay, fine. We just went ahead with the story because the situation was like that. So you can understand how Sugrīva had personified Rama's anger, Rama's enmity towards Ravana. That's the true sign of a friend. Okay, your enemy is my enemy, your friend is my friend, that kind of a thing. Okay, and then finally, you are not going to escape from me or Rama. It's impossible. Forget about it. You are going to die. So this was Sugrīva's response to Ravana's message. Now, Shuka started his journey. The monkeys did not let him go. They said that he was trying to gaze upon the war strategies of Vanaras. How are they placed? Who are the main ones? Who holds the commandership? Whose words do the soldiers in the army listen to? These are some of the important factors. These are very, very crucial things that will help the opposition to strategize accordingly. Whom should we attack? Who is the weakest link? Who is the strongest one? Whom should we desert? All these things. So they found out that he is collecting all this data, right? So again, they imprisoned him. They said, this time we are not going to let him go. Finally, he went to Rāma, and Rāma was in a different mode. You see the quick change between Rāma, the way his mentality is moving. He was already in that mindset. This is what a pranayama does when we do that pranayama before each and every karma. So you may ask that you do Sandhyavandanam in the morning, you do pranayama, or as a part of your yogasana practice, you do pranayama. And then again, when you are doing Deva Puja, you have to do pranayama again. Why? You have already done in the morning, 30 minutes practice, 50 minutes practice, all those things you have done. Then why again do this pranayama while doing this Deva Puja or while doing Sankalpam? And for every time you have to do a Sankalpa, you have to do a pranayama. Is there any difference between these two pranayama? Absolutely. There is a difference between these two pranayama. Because when you are bringing, when you do that pranayama, you are preparing yourself, you are making your body and mind set to a particular task. That's called controlling the breath, controlling the body, controlling the mind, and dedicating it towards one particular activity. And exactly like that, Rama was already in that mode. He was in mode of appeasing or doing that upavasa for 3 days to appease Samudra. So he was already in that mode. And when Shuka again begged Rama and says that, Muchyatam, leave him, let him be. He is a Duta, he is a messenger. So let him be. He went back. So that's one part of the story. And now comes the most important part that we all need to remind ourselves at least once every day of our life. The concept of tolerance, the idea of tolerance that has been taught to us by the fancy people, the fancy intellectuals. They have given us hours of lectures on tolerance, how our Sanatana Dharma talks and teaches us about tolerance. Even if an invader threatens us by our life, even when they try to take our life, if we do not abandon our own dharma, even then we should be tolerant, because we should never be intolerant. It's very convenient, isn't it? It's very convenient to teach all these things to some people, to indigenous people of this country especially, and they will quote you. This is the reason why I don't like teaching Samskrita to everybody. Everything for everybody is what not I am after. Because when you teach the lines like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam to intellectuals, they will turn it against you to teach you the lessons of tolerance. If you had never taught them what is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, they would have never come up substantiating their theory, saying that it's your own scriptures that tell you Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. This entire world is a family. So if a family member is not an invader, how dare you call him invader? He's an influencer. Yeah, that's how intellectuals speak. He's an influencer, and he's a family. You consider the entire world as your family. You don't raise your arms against your family, isn't it? See how cruelly, brutally they have twisted it. This is the reason why they used to examine and then teach, not the other way around. The entire education system is laughable. It's a laughing stock, because we teach and then we examine them, isn't it? That's how everything is done these days. It's the other way around. We should examine first and then teach. Take the examples of Upamanyu, Aruni. Did they not go through so many hardships? 12 years, 13 years, 14 years. The Guru did not teach them a single word, single letter. Nothing was taught to them. They were put into menial jobs. They were put to do the chores of the entire ashram. Nobody complained. They did not say that this is a harassment. Nobody wrote an email. Nobody campaigned against them, because they were proving themselves. You have to prove yourself that you have that hunger, you have that appetite for the vidya, for the knowledge. Only then you will be granted. Idantena tapaskaya. Bhagavad Gita. Now, the people will tell you so many things about Bhagavad Gita. They forget about the most important part. The 18th chapter, at the end, Krishna very clearly mentions that this Bhagavad Gita should not be given to those who are not who are not into tapasya. Atapaskaya nadeyam. He who does not have tapasya is not eligible to study Bhagavad Gita. But no, we went behind glory. And how do you make India glorious India? By showing off our greatest treasure. We opened the doors to our greatest treasure. We opened the doors to Bhagavad Gita without letting them know the eligibility criteria, the prerequisites, the amount of dedication and devotion it takes, the discipline it takes to study Bhagavad Gita. No, we did not. Nobody tells you all these three things. The amount of dedication, devotion, discipline it takes to study Bhagavad Gita. Do they tell you? No. Then we opened our gates to yoga. Another gem lost. This is what happens when we run behind glory. We lose its essence. Because there is quantity, there is no room for quality at all. The perspective is gone. And we are doing the same with Sanskrit as well. But, Vedas were already lost. When people like Max Muller could read and interpret it the way they want, it clearly shows that we lost as collectively, as the people, as the inheritors of this great treasure passed on to us by generations. We gave it to someone else. And there's this famous song, you took a very small, petite, cute bird and fed it to a giduga, fed it to a prey, a hunting bird. That's what we are doing. Okay, fine. Enough with this. Now we have to come back. So, Rama. Now you see a tapasvi Rama. Okay. Tatasagaravelayam darbhanastirya raghavaha anjalim pramukha kritva pratishishye mahodate. He sat on that darbhasanam, sitting towards east facing. He sat there 3 days, no water, no food, nothing. He sat there. And bahum bhujanga bhogabham upadhayari sudanaha jatarupamayaischeva bhushanayir bhushitam pura. And he, both his bahu, which were once decorated by hundreds and hundreds of various ornaments, now bereft of all those ornaments, he took both his arms and he made it into this mudra. This is Anjali mudra. And then he sat there. Just imagine in a Padmasanam, and then you have to keep it like this 3 days. You're not even supposed to flinch. That's Rama. That is tapasya. Okay. Adyame taranam vatha maranam sagarasyava. That was the sankalpam that Rama took. Because everything depended on this. You have to, I know that many people may feel that this is not where you have to focus the most as a story narrator, but I beg to differ. This is vital. Without this, there is no continuation of the story. You see, nobody else in the history had ever built anything on the ocean, and no one ever shall be able to build anything on ocean. Rama did it with the help of monkeys. How did he manage this? It all takes a sankalpa shakti. See, that sankalpa shakti is highlighted here. When he sat there in front of the ocean, what was his sankalpam? See, we are associated with yoga, all of us in one way or the other. So how do we perceive yoga and how do we perceive mind? Yoga is about mind, not just body. Body is simply a means to get into the mind of ourselves, not the other people's minds. We don't have to get into other people's minds. We just have to access our own mind. And if we are trying to do that, it's all about how do we define mind? Sankalpa vikalpatmakam manaha. That's all. Mind is a combination of sankalpa and vikalpa, which means most of the times all the things that go on in our mind can be classified into two categories. Category number one, I want to do this. Category number two, I do not want to do this. Everything that crosses our mind are cut down or bottled down to only these two categories. Whichever is strong, that's where the mind moves our entire body, or our activities designed and directed towards that way, that path. So Rama took a sankalpam, and his sankalpam was very strong. Adyame taranam. Either I will cross the ocean today, maranamba, or I will perish today. There is only two options for me. Either I will be able to cross this ocean, or I will die trying. Which means until I die, I will try. This is the meaning of it. Adyame taranam vadha maranam sagarasyava. Iti ramo dhritim kritva. Look at the words. Dhritim. He took this as a dhriti. And then Mahabahur Mahodadhim. Adhishishyecha vidhivat. Prayato niyato muni. He was a muni. That's what I said. You see a different Rama here. He looked like a sage. He was a sage at that moment. 3 days. Satriratros tatra. Triratram. The word ratram here refers to day and night. Not only 3 nights. Okay. 3 day and nights. 3 days. 3 whole days. 72 hours. Nachadarshayate rupam sagara. The ocean did not appear in front of him. He did not grant him audience. Not even a sign. Nothing. The samudra is still like how it was 3 days before. And when Rama opened his eyes, it was burning red. Valmiki says that Raktantalochana. The red could be seen at the tip of his eyes, as if the color red will drop out of Rama's eyes. That's how red, how angry Rama was at that time. 3 days. Not a single response from Samudra. Okay. He says that prashamaha, tolerance, okay, kshama, patience, arjavam, straightforwardness, priyavadita, good speech, okay, asamarthya phala hiyate. They do not fetch you any results. Nirguneshu satangunaha. Especially, you don't showcase these attributes to people who have no value or concern or viewpoint or heart towards the qualities, towards best attributes. You don't show them these kind of qualities. Okay. He is Atma Prashamsinam. He thinks very big of himself. He is Samudra after all. So he thinks very big of himself. And he's Dushtam and Viparidhavakam. He doesn't run away from anybody, isn't it? He stays there. He says that Dammidre Hodinana. It is like, if you come and attack me, you cross me. I don't have to move anywhere. I am here. I was here. I am here. I shall be here. It is you who want to cross. So, come on. That's the attitude that Samudra was showing to Rama. Nasamna shakyate kirtihi. So these are the lines that we need to remember at this time, especially during this time. I cannot stress more on this point because, this thing will be on YouTube. So you understand how things are in today's world. But I can give you subtle hints. This is what we need to, this must be our mantra. This has been told. Nasamna shakyate kirti. If you remain quiet, you cannot achieve any glory. Okay. Nasamna shakyate yashaha. Right? And you cannot win. You cannot take victory by being too quiet or too good to others. And then he asks Lakshmana, Chapamane Saumitre. Enough is enough. Rama was done by at this moment. Chapamane Saumitre. Saumitre, O son of Sumitra, O Lakshmana, bring my chapam, bring my bows and arrows. Banashtashi, Sharanshtashi, Viśvāpaman. What kind of arrows? Ashi Viśvāpaman. Ashi Visha is serpent, as sharp as a serpent, as poisonous, as venomous as a serpent. Bring those arrows, bring my bow and arrows. Samudram shoshayishyami. I will dry out this ocean. This is Rama talking. From tapasvi to another level. This is the kind of Rama that nobody has ever told us. Even when they are narrating the story of Ramayana, they will never highlight this kind of Rama. This is the kind of Rama that we need to idolize. This is the kind of Rama that is required right now. We are not weak. We are not meek. Our heroes, our gods are not weak. We have to remember this. We have to firmly believe in this. None of our gods are weak. Okay. When we talk of strength, the first thing that comes to our mind is Hercules, isn't it? How ridiculous it is. Why can't we think of Rama? Was he not strong enough? When he got angry, he did not have to do anything. He just had to get angry, and he changed the course of the world. He put something that was never on the geographical map of the entire world. He put a dam there. He built a dam on the ocean just by his anger. And when we say of perseverance, right? When we talk of perseverance, how many of us, the moment we hear the word perseverance, how many of us honestly remember Bhagīratha? None of us do. It's unfortunate. But Bhagīratha was an epitome of that. He was Rama's ancestor. He never gave up. And what all hardships did Bhagīratha go through just to bring Ganga onto earth? We see Ganga flowing today. We see so many oceans. We go to beaches and enjoy. 1 second, take a moment when you visit Ganga, or when you go to the shores of Ganga, or when you visit any beach, any seashore, take a moment, sit back and imagine what Bhagīratha did. If it was not for Bhagīratha, there would be no Ganga flowing on earth. What a great fellow. Right. So, Chapavan Samudram Joshayishyami, Padbhyamyantu Plavangama. Let us walk to Ganga. Let us walk the ocean. I will dry this ocean out. Let us walk. That's what Rama told. And then he says that he forcefully took the bows and arrows, and he started shooting arrows. And if there was any one person who could have controlled, who could have brought Rama back, nobody even wanted to be in and around Rama. This is situation number 1. Please note this situation. The another situation is going to come very immediately, very soon. During the battle, we will find yet another situation where it was very difficult for someone who were surrounding Rama. None of them wanted to hold back Rama. They could not even look at Rama. Do you know what is the second situation? The only other situation where everybody felt helpless. This was situation number 1. Rama started shooting arrows at Samudra. And what was the line? He said, Samudram shoshayishyami. I will dry this entire ocean out. With this kind of a sankalpam, if Rama starts shooting arrows, what will happen to Samudra? The nature's balance is going to fall down. There was only one man who could bring him back to normalcy, Lakshmana. The epitome of anger, Lakshmana, was the one who brings Rama back to sanity. You see, none of us can ever decode the brotherhood, the understanding that Rama and Lakshmana had. I have scratched my head over so many years. I have never been able to find it. How they were able to keep each other in the path of dharma. Nobody ever let the other one cross the maryada. That is the reason why Rama was even ready to give up his pratigna. He said that he will not return to Ayodhya without killing Ravana, isn't it? But when Lakshmana fell unconscious, he said, let's go back. I don't want this war anymore. Shakya Sita Samanari, Martyaloke Vichinvata. He says, we can find another Sita. They can never find another Lakshmana. See, he understood the value that Lakshmana brought. That's what brotherhood means. You see, he's in a different league altogether. He's not in the same, not on the equal terms of Bharata. Bharata was a different pedigree. Lakshmana was a different pedigree altogether. And Rama was the blessed one because he had two such brothers. Very rarely do you find such kind of a family, isn't it? Okay, fine. He goes there. Saumitri Rutpatya Vinishwasantam. He had to jump. Lakshmana, calm down, Rama. Bhavadvidhah krodhavashannayanti. People like you should not get angry. Because, asmadrisha, people like us, we get angry all the time. But not people like you. Because when people like Rama get angry, it's either the end of the world or it is end of the world. There is no second option there. It is going to be the end of the world. Okay. And everybody, even the Ashari Ravani started pleading Rama, don't do this. Because they understood that without the ocean, the balance would fall down. All the global warming, sea level, etc., you make all the assumptions now because you have the power of science with you. we know to narrate it in a simple term. Everything that is in nature should be in its natural order. If anything is done to its order, it creates imbalance. If it is imbalanced, then it is harmful for everything. Okay. Then Rama started addressing Sagara himself. He says that Adyatvam Shoshayishyami. Why are you not responding to me? What is it that is making you hold back? Why can't you show yourself to me? Tell me what is required. I will do anything. Why don't you give me an answer? That's all he's asking. Still, no response from Samudra. Not a single answer from him. So what he does at this time, at this moment is, he takes a Brahmastram. He takes Brahmastram, he does all the mantra to that, and he pulls his arrow, and pulls his bow, his string. Only for that matter, only at this moment, the entire world was shivering. The clouds covered that part, and Samudra out came from the middle of the ocean. The king of oceans, he stepped out. He pleaded him, he begged him. He said, I'm very sorry, I apologize. Don't do this. You know what happens when Brahmastra is used. It's the end. It's the strongest, most powerful weapon. It's like a nuclear bomb these days. More powerful than nuclear bomb. And Rama is still in this position. He still is in this position. And then Samudra came and he says that you should not hurt this ocean. This is an integral part of nature. You should not do it. He says, not by your own wish, na kamate, na lobhate, because if you are greedy to gain something, even then you should not hurt the ocean. For no reason, the ocean must be hurt. So I will do whatever you want. I will give you space. I will allow you to build a bridge so that everybody can walk. But don't hurt. Don't erase Samudra from the nature. Okay. But Rama said that this is amogham. You understand the term amogham? Amogha means which can never be fruitless. Mogha means fruitless. Amogha is that which is never fruitless, which means it's always capable to bring fruits, to bring results. So if I have taken this Brahmastram now, if I have already have this on my bow, and I cannot take it back now. It's done. So what should I do with this? Then Samudra says that in the in the northern side of me, there are some people who are abhiras. They're called as abhiras, and they are hurting me. They are sinful in nature, and they are drinking my water. They are consuming my water. I do not want them to touch me. So why don't you direct this towards them, and they will be finished. Done. In a minute, all of them are washed away. And then Samudra says that Ayam Saumya Nalo Nama Tanayo Viśvākarmana. Here he is. His name is Nala. He is the son of Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the architect, chief architect of Devatas. And his son is Nala. He is in your army. Why don't you ask him to construct a bridge? He was a great civil engineer, Nala. Okay, fine, agreed. All of a sudden, Nala remembers that, yes, I do remember that Mayatu Aurasastasya Putroham Smaritosmyaham. I have been reminded by Sagara that, yes, I am the son of Vishwakarma. I will do it. I can do it, and I will do it. I will build a bridge. And thus began the greatest ever work, the greatest ever marvel, wonder that the world has ever seen. You don't have to have 7 wonders of the world. Only one wonder is enough. How this bridge was built. Yeah. One man's sankalpa shakti, that's all it takes. You don't need thousands of men to construct a mahal and then cut their arms off, cut their hands off. That's ridiculous. All you need is one man with that much of sankalpa shakti. You need one man like Rama. He did. What a wonderful job. And why is it not considered one of the wonders of the world? God knows. Moving on. So everybody, they started contributing to build this bridge. First day. In how many days was that built? 100 yojanas, remember? The length of Samudra was 100 yojanas. They had to build it. So first day, they built 14 yojanas. Fantastic calculation given by Valmiki. They built the bridge for 14 yojanas. The second day, 20. Third day, 21. Fourth day, 22. Fifth day, 23. Done. 5 days. Just a week. 2 weekends. Okay. Saturday and Sunday. 5 days, they finished building this bridge. 100 yojanas. Dashayojana Vistirnam. It was, the width was Dashayojana Vistirnam. 10 yojanas wide and 100 yojanas long. What a brilliant construction. Dashayojana Vistirnam, Shatayojana Mayatam. Okay. Dadrushur Devagandharva. Nalasetum Sudushkaram. It was originally called as Nalasetu. And then they named it as Ramasetu. It was originally called as Nalasetu. See the word used by Valmiki, Nalasetu. Okay. I'm just putting this out here to all of you because while doing your own research, when you may come across some old documents where you will find some words written as Nalasetu, you must not get confused. The architect of that bridge, of that Setu, was Nala. Therefore, that Setu was called as Nalasetu. Okay. Then all of them crossed the ocean. As easy as that. Across the ocean very quickly. The story moves in a very brisk pace. Valmiki does not highlight on the things that are not required. He only highlights those things that are very vital. For example, how Rama and Samudra, their interaction. It was important to record that. He did record it. And then the moment they crossed the ocean, on the other side of the ocean, now they have left India. They have reached the shores of Lanka. Okay. It's a long walk from there to the Lankan kingdom, but they have crossed the ocean. The first hurdle is out. Can you imagine? This is the beginning of war. Because the only hurdle there was, a natural hurdle that stopped anybody from attacking Ravana and Lanka was the Samudra, was the ocean. And now they have crossed that hurdle. Now it has come down to strategy and strength. That's all. The moment he enters onto that shore, Rama tells Lakshmana, observe the nature. There are so many apashakunas. Valmiki gets back into his favorite subject, favorite topic. 23rd Sarga, he uses 16 shlokas to describe what was happening in Lanka the moment they stepped in. I have to make a note of all these things. Wonderful. That's how we study nature. That's how you study Nimitta and Shakuna. Parvatagrani vepante. The tip of mountains are trembling. Okay. And the clouds are raining with blood, not water. They're raining blood. It's a blood rain, not acid rain. Blood rain. And that's a mark. Okay. And Aditya Vimale Neelam Lakshma Lakshana Drishyate. The sun had the sun was appearing at that time with a small dot of black color. Neelam Lakshma. There was a small dot that appeared in the color black on the sun. The sun is considered as the king. Rajano Ravishitagu. Okay, Raja Ravihi. So if there is a black mark there, it means, and it was not seen by them on that side of the shores. It was only seen when they entered to this side. It means that there is some wrong thing is going to happen to the king of this particular nation. And the king of that nation was Ravana. It was very clear. And it says that this is the right moment to attack the enemy. Kshipra madhyaiva durdharsham purim Ravana paritam abhiyama. Let us attack without wasting a single minute. It was decided. So they started. They reached Lanka immediately, because he was good at studying all these things. He understood that this is the right Shakuna for us to attack. You attack when the enemy is weak. An enemy is weakened. And how do you know enemy is weak? You looked at nature. Nature gives you hints whether the enemy is weak or strong. They understood there. They started their journey. They saw what Lanka is. They had already rebuilt after Hanūmān run the chaos across Lanka. They had rebuilt it very quickly. So Manaseva Kratam Lankam Nagagre Vishvakarmana. It looked beautiful. So beautiful that it was almost as if it was done according to the imagination of Vishvakarma. It was almost like, his imagination has taken its form in the form of Lanka. That's how it looked. And then Balancha tatra vibhajat shastra drishtena karmana, according to Dandaniti Shastra, according to Artha Shastra, according to Yuddha Shastra. Rama did the categorization of his army. He strategized who will be heading what part of the formation of the army. You just have to go through the details. Very brilliant one. Angada saha nilena tishthed urasi durjaya. Imagine the entire army as a man. Okay, Uraha is this chest. That's where it is broad. See, therefore, on one side of that chest part of the army formation, there will be Angada, and on the other side there will be Nila, and they will have the maximum number of monkeys following them. That's the core of your army. You understood that the formation. I have to imagine that. I have to picturize it. Okay. And then on the right side, the right wing. Okay, you have to imagine this as a bird. So the chest, the middle part will be taken care by Angada and Nila, and the right wing will be Rishabha. And Gandhahasti, Durdharshaha, Tarasvi, Gandhamadana will be on the left wing. On one wing there is Gandhamadana, and on the other wing there is Rishabha. And at the tip of the army. Mūrdhisthāsyāmyaham yattaha. I will be there, leading the army, not hiding behind the army, not leading men into slaughter. I will lead the men. So Mūrdhini, imagine this as a bird. Mūrdha is where the beak, the face comes. That's where Rama and Lakshmana stood. And Jambavan, Sushena, and Vegadarshi, and all those people will protect the rear. What a formation this is. They are the defense. They protect the rear. They cover all the sides. Their only job is to take care that we are not attacked from the sides. When you are trying to attack like this, so it's like, from wings you are attacking in this formation, and the chest pushes you further. It presses. That's the midfield. If you imagine this in a footballing equation, it will be easy. The midfield has to press, and the wingers have to suffocate them. And both Gandhamadana and Rishabha, they are there to suffocate the opposition. Whereas Angada and Neela, they will press harder. And as they press, they will cover the rear. Who? Jambavan, Sushena, they are the old people, see. That's where you have kept them. Because they know, they are wise. And if anybody is hurt, they can take care of them. You need that kind of a system. So Jambavan, Vegadarshi, they are all placed in the rear part of it. And he will be leading them. And where is Sugrīva then? Jaghanam kapisenaya kapirajo bhirakshat. The Jaghana part. Defensive midfield, according to footballing terms. Okay, the distance between, in between the midfield, the attacking midfield of Neela and Angada, and in between Jambavan and Angada and Neela stays Kapiraja, Sugrīva. That is Jaghana. That's where the strength comes from. Who do you think motivates them? Your commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief has to stay there, pull those men, bring those men, and lead them, guide them. There is a leader, there is a guide. Okay, Rama will be leading them, and Sugrīva will be guiding them. What a brilliant strategy this is. Okay. And Paschardhamivalokasya prachetas tejasavridaha. Okay. This is how they formed into this formation. And it was a clear instruction was sent out to the entire army that under no circumstances shall they walk out of this formation. They will remain in this formation. As long as the war is not won, they have to maintain this formation. See how important discipline is, this kind of formation, an entire army. No TV series, no movie has ever been able to capture this kind of a discipline in an army formation, because it's very difficult to film it. It's very difficult to imagine it. The amount of discipline it takes for those men in the army to stay in this formation. That's why the war is such a difficult thing. We cannot determine the exact outcome of a war, because anything can happen at any given point of time. How do you attack? Yeah, all these things, right? And again, Shuka. Now let's get back to where was Hanūmān. Hanūmān was right behind Rama, right behind Rama. They are the playmakers. They are the ones who actually take care. They are the floaters. Number 10, like Lionel Messi. They move in and around. They are the mercurial ones. Now you understand why Angada was so successful in the war. Because he was placed in that attacking midfield where he's the one who is pushing men forward. What a great fellow. Okay, all right. Where were we? Okay, now Shuka, back to Shuka. Now the story needs to come back to Ravana now. Shuka went back to Ravana. He told that this is what happened to me. And somehow they left me. Somehow they let me go. Otherwise, they were not letting me go at all. It's only because Rama told them that they let me go. And I don't think this is a war that we can win. It's impossible to talk to them We cannot negotiate with them. We cannot have any truce with them. The only thing that we can do is give Sita back. Let's end this war before it begins. Because if it begins, we are definitely going to lose. That's it. Shuka said this. He says that there is no room for negotiation between ourselves and them. It's like devas and danavas. Naitayor vidyate sandhi devadanayor. So we cannot expect to have a negotiation between them. And again, Ravana said that even if all the armies of Devatas, Gandharvas, Kinnaras, everybody attacks me together, even then, Naiva Sitam Pradasyami, I shall not give up Sita. Okay, and now tell me, when are they planning to attack? He asked. He says that whenever they both went again in disguise. This time the disguise was in the form of a monkey. So they disguised themselves as monkeys. They entered into Rama's army, and they were looking for some clues. They were finding out who is the strongest one, to whom, whose words do Sugrīva listen, who are all on the war council. All these details Ravana wanted. Kill them. Said, no, no, no. And Rama understood that you are here on the behest of Ravana, right? Ravana has sent you to get an idea of our army, right? And he asked Hanūmān to show them around the army. Confidence that Rama had in his strategy. Show them around. Tell them who is the commander-in-chief. How are we formed? What is our formation? What is our strength? How many people do we have in what part of this formation? Who is leading us? Who is protecting the rear? Give them every single tiny detail, and let Ravana know that this is how we have formed. If he wishes to fight this kind of a formation, let him face us. But I will not worried. I will not be worried. I will not be scared that they have entered our camp and they will gain information. Give them information. Right to information. Let them know that this is how we have strategized. The confidence that Rama had. What kind of a leader would do this in today's world? You show me one leader who has the guts to do this, who has the courage to do this. That yes, this is what I have in my arsenal. This is how I am stacked. This is how I have strategized. Now you come and attack us. That's Rama for you. Alam virodhena shamo vidhiyatam pradhiyatam Daśarathaya maithili. Both Shuka and Sarana, this time they begged Ravana. Ravana, this is how they have formed. They are not easy to win. They are impossible to defeat. Okay, so please listen to us and give her back. And in the chapter 26 of Yuddhakandam, he gives a brilliant description of Vanara army. Okay. Yuvarajo Angado Nama. He starts from there. Balagre Tishthate Viro Nilo. Each and every detail has been given here. It's a wonderful read. I have given you the brief description, but if you wanted the Vistrita one, if you wanted a detailed one, then please refer chapter number 26 of Yuddhakandam. A brilliant, brilliant insight into this. And also he gave Ravana the information of all the important people of Sugrīva's army. Mainda, Dvivida, Hanūmān, Rāma, Lakshmana, Vibhīshana, Sugrīva, their strength, where are they placed, everything. Ravana ridiculed them, Shuka and Sarana, and he removed them from his court. And again, he sent some more of his spies. They were caught. The same thing repeated. He was desperately trying to find a loophole in Rama's army. He was not able to find any. And when none of this happened, he decided to do something that only he could think of doing, Ravana. He created a magical head of Rama, cut head of Rama, only this part, mundam of Rama. It was done by magic, black magic. And he took that and he showed it to Sita. He showed it to Sita and said that even before Rama, I give him that point that he crossed the ocean, all for nothing. Because he could not even stand in front of me. He was beheaded last night. And he showed it as a proof. Rama's head. Sita got worried. She was unconsolable. She was uncontrollable. She thought that this is true. This has happened. How does she not believe it? Because it's a head that she is saying. And it looked exactly like Rama. And he also managed to bring some broken bows and arrows. Ravana, a very clever fellow, I tell you. Broken bows and arrows, along with this beheaded head, so that Sita should be ensured that it is Rama's head. See, look at his bows and arrows broken. Okay. So then after terrorizing her like this, he went back to his place to strategize, because he knows now that this is a handful. The army is a handful and he has to strategize well. This is not something that he would have wished for. He wanted Sugrīva to turn against Rama, which did not happen. He wanted his messengers to gain access into their army, which was provided to them and sent back with a message that this is how we are. If you have the strength, attack us. He desperately tried with some more spies. It did not work out. Finally, he thought of reducing Sita. He thought that if we make Sita weakened by showing her the beheaded Rama's head, so maybe she will lose interest, and she may send a message to Rama saying that, or to the remaining army, that there is no requirement, you please go away. This was Ravana's thought. Finally, she will agree that since Rama is no more, he thought that because Rama is still alive, according to her, that's why she is not willing to marry me. If Rama is dead, if I prove Sita that Rama is dead, then she will marry me. That's what the fool thought, Ravana. He tried everything. But now on this side, there was one more lady called as Sarama. Her name was Sarama. She consoled Sita. She said that, do not believe this gimmick. This is simply a gimmick done by Ravana. Rama is still alive. I have seen Rama and the army of Sugrīva with my own eyes. I have seen them. And it looks like another ocean has landed on the shores of Lanka. They are definitely going to win. They are definitely going to defeat and kill Ravana. Do not worry. This is just another play from his book, from Ravana's book of dirty politics. Do not believe him. Okay. And she also told Sita that if this was the case, then how come Ravana is in a council meeting with his ministers at this moment, at this very moment? I have heard that he is with his ministers strategizing for the war. What is the requirement for strategizing for war if Rama is already beheaded, according to him? So do not believe him at any cost. Okay. Now, the last person who could have put some sense into Ravana was Malyavan. He was an old fellow, an old advisor, a minister. He told Ravana that, please give Sita back. It was the last one. He was the last one to actually try. Even now, innu kala minchilla. Even now you have the opportunity to save yourselves, save the people of Lanka. Do not indulge in this war. This is not a war that we are going to win, that we can win. So please let this go. Let Sita get back to Rama. This is not a war that we want. This is not something that we can win. No. He did not listen to him. He asked him to leave the premises as early as possible. And then he went. He did a survey. Ravana did a survey on his own. He went across the city to see whether the gates, the borders of the city are well covered or not. It was all well covered, well protected, well guarded, because he, as a king, it was his responsibility to guard the gates, because he did not want them to attack from any angle, any side, any direction. But he forgot that Vibhishana was there. Vibhishana understood everything about Ravana's strategy. So now Vibhishana tells him that how Ravana has kept his important people. Who are the commanders that are positioned by Ravana in which part of the city? Who is protecting the south gate? Who is protecting the north gate? Who is protecting the front gate? Who is protecting the rear gate? Everything was in detail revealed by Vibhishana to Rama. And then Rama strategizes accordingly, how to attack and all these things. I think we can end it at this moment. We will start in the next class. We will start with Ravana's strategy, Ravana's way of protecting his city, how he protected his city, how he arranged for the guarding of his city. And then we will see how the war begins. Who takes the spoils of day 1, day 2, day 3. It's simply a narration where it goes that Prahasta was killed. He was killed by him, he was killed by him. It's simply facts. Because none of them ever triumphed in any single battle. No Rakshasa ever won a single battle. They lost all the battles and they also lost the war. Sometimes what happens in a war is you win some battles, you lose some battles, and eventually the outcome depends on whether how many battles did you win or how many battles did you lose. The count in Rama Ravana Yuddha is, in this great war, Ravana lost all the battles. He did not win a single battle. And eventually he also lost the war, obviously. Okay, anyway, we have ended this. I have ended this very early today. We still have 29 minutes today. So if you have any questions, then we will take. Was Hanūmān not able to see ill omens told by Vibhishana? He was able to see. Hanūmān was able to see it. But just because he was able to see it, it doesn't mean that Valmiki has to, tell him or make him speak about all these things. He preferred not to make Hanūmān speak about all these things. That's all. But he did know. There were many people who knew. Almost everybody knows that. Why very less is told about Shatrughna? It doesn't play a major role here. When you have stalwarts like Bharata and Lakshmana, do you think it is easy for anybody to overshadow them, overcome their aura? They're the kind of influence that Lakshmana and Bharata have. It's immense. So that doesn't mean that Shatrughna was mediocre or he was not as important as these two. But he was not told because he did not, his contributions to the story was not that important. Okay, so since this is a festival today, if we don't have any questions, we can end it early. And it's good to have some festive delicacies, and you don't want to listen to me saying speaking for 2 hours straight. It's a good day. So is applicable to today's world to provide strengths of nation to opponent. It depends. It depends. How good you are, how well maintained you are, within your country. That denotes or that explains whether we can reveal all these things to our rival countries or not. There is no harm if you have the strength, you have what it takes to resist any attack. Rama had that courage. Rama had that strength. He had that acumen. I want you to focus on that kind of war acumen that Rama had. Enough is not told about that kind of thing. It was not brute strength that through which Rama won the war. It was through strategy. Okay. So fine. So we will meet in the next month then, February. So it's almost 6 more sessions to go, I guess. So February, March, April. So by the end of April, we will be finishing this 6 more sessions, and we will be completing a great satram of Ramayana. It has been a wonderful journey so far. So I hope you will stick with me for another 6, that is 12 hours, 12 more hours, and we will be done with the story. Thank you, and happy Makara Sankranti, happy Pongal to all of you. And see you in February. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Our pleasure, sir. Our pleasure listening to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Happy Sankranti.
Thank you.